Hey everyone, my name's Jamie and I'm going to show you how we're making Joel Salatin's deep bedding system work with just one cow. Okay, so the main concept here is that you're trying to create a compost pile underneath your animals. Once you've created that compost pile, all the microbes in there start to break down the manure and leave no smell behind. The trick to this is having enough nitrogen and carbon together in a big enough mass to where it can start breaking down fast. Nitrogen. This is tricky to do with one animal because usually in these systems you have a lot of animals adding a lot of manure, which you can add a lot of carbon to and get a big pile of stuff going so it can start composting quickly. So Joel Salatin recommends that you have at least 30 square feet per animal when trying to recreate the system. That makes perfect sense when you have a lot of animals because they can all share that same space. But when you only have one animal, it doesn't make much sense. So let me show you what we did to make it work for a one animal system. Our barn stall measures 12 by 16, and that gives us about 192 square feet of space for her. So far, our cow has been in this pen for about 2 months, and it's already started composting and has no smell. And I gotta say, I was really surprised by this because when my wife first said, let's get a cow and we can keep her in the barn for 3 months, I was like, that sounds disgusting. There's gonna be manure, I'm gonna have to be moving it around, it's gonna smell terrible. So how we were able to make this work was by concentrating all her manure on one side of the pen. That's the big key here. I would say probably 95% of her manure ends up on this side of the pen without us having to move any of it. And that's from her just eating and drinking on this side of the stall. We feed her on this side, we drink her on this side, and that's just where her manure ends up. So in a larger cow system, you'd be adding material and the animals themselves would be spreading it around a little bit more. With a lot more animal activity, you have them kicking it around, moving it around, and it ends up covering up a lot of the manure. Now doing it just with one cow, it took a little bit more input from us. So every morning we would come out here, we'd have to give her fresh hay and water anyway. So when we would do that, we would come in and move the clean material on the left side of the pen and just cover up her manure from the night before. All in all, it only took us about 60 seconds each day. And I will say, in the midway point, probably about 1 month, we would start to get a little bit of smell. But then we would just add extra material on top of everything and it would really mitigate it within 1 day or so. And I think the main reason for that is because we're in that in-between where we had a lot of manure in here and not a lot of carbon and the whole thing wasn't really composting yet. That's simply because we just didn't have enough mass in here. Now to start this whole thing, we put about 6 inches of fresh wood chips along the whole bottom of the pen. Each day as she would come in and all her manure would end up where she was eating, we would just scoop in a little bit and cover it up. After about a week of doing that, the left side of the pen would start to get low in material. We'd come in here with the tractor and fill it back up. Whoa! Are you gonna go crazy? Are you gonna go crazy? You too excited for new bedding? After 2 months, we've accumulated about 20 inches of material on half the pen. So that's about 20 inches for 100 square feet or so. I'm gonna dig down here a little bit and see what sort of compost action we got going on. Oh, it's real heavy down here. I actually think I wanna get the thermometer out and see how the temp is down there. We're at 110, right in between steady and active. But there's no smell, so that's the most important thing. It's pretty crazy. This actually smells good. It smells like clean earth. There's still a lot of composting that needs to be done on this, but just the fact that it's giving off a fresh, clean, earthy smell, and it's really amazing. So there you have it. It can be done with one cow. It's pretty cool having no smell in your barn and not having to shovel any manure anywhere. If this video was helpful, a thumbs up would mean a lot. Also, I made another video on how I built this whole barn setup thing here. So if you're interested in that, please go check it out. I do plan on making another video showing how well this actually composts into something usable that we can put in our garden or throw it on our pasture. So stay tuned for that.